Okay, so we've got an SCMI Formula T1 Mini-Max shaper. This shaper has a 9 horsepower motor, 6.6 kilowatts. It has an 1.25 inch spindle with approximately 8 inches under the nut. It's capable of speeds from 3,000 to 10,000 RPM. It has a foot brake and a spindle lock. The spindle can be raised and lowered via hand wheel. Hand wheel has a lock on it. Machine is belt drive. That's how you change the speeds on it, is to change the belt arrangement on the various pulleys. The diagram there shows you how it's done. It's a pretty beefy shaper. Right now I've got a staggered tooth cutter on it that I've been just planing some boards with to show how it works. Another nice feature of the shaper is that it has this micro adjust fence on it. You loosen the knob here on the top of the fence, turn this knob to do a micro adjustment on the side. The fence is also spread. You can loosen this knob here on the side, slide the fence out. That moves about 4 inches. Machine also has 2 dust ports on it, one behind the fence to pick up anything that comes off the cutter head, and the other one that goes under the table. This is a nice feature because it keeps the dust from building up under the table and clogging things up under there. Machine has got a slot for a miter gauge or something of that sort. I've seen these with miter gauges on them before. There is no miter gauge with the machine. It has a set of 3 nested table rings around the cutter head. Bearings in the machine are very good. I can turn this very easily, turning the motor and the spindle at the same time there. Nice and quiet. I'll turn it on so you can hear it. You can hear the thing fire up. And you can see it comes right up to speed. We'll turn it off. Use the foot brake to stop the spindle. And that is with the foot brake. And now I'm going to start it again. And we'll stop it again, and this time let it run down on its own. And so you can see the bearings sound very nice. Like I said, you hear no noise at all while I'm turning that spindle. The spindle is removable. There's a big nut on the top of it there. Spindle fits down in a taper. It's a double nut, so the spindle is theoretically reversible. Although the shaper does not have forward and reverse on it, I suppose that you could reverse the wiring and reverse the motor. The table on the shaper is bored for a feeder. It's not tapped out, but the holes are bored through for a standard feeder stand. This is the badge on the machine. The machine was made in 1998. I don't know whether or not you can see that, but I'll post a better picture of the badge in the ad, just that way you can see it. Late model machine, and as I said, made in 1998. So really all this machine would need is put a power cord on it, put some cutters on it, and you're good to go. It's ready to run. So the last thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to run the machine, and I'm going to just show you it cutting a couple of boards here with this staggered tooth planer cutter that I've got in it. So I'm going to set this thing on the table. Don't know how this is going to do, but hopefully we can get you a pretty good shot of this happening. pretty good. Those are hammer marks. Try to get those out. Looking pretty good. Got some pretty good dents in the board there from where I was beating on it with a hammer. Actually looks pretty good. The cutting stick is nice. You can see just flattening that edge out. At any rate, real sweetheart of a shaper. Once again, we'll shut it down. Use the brake to stop the spindle. And there you have it. So the shaper includes the shaper, the fence, the spindle, and the nut. It doesn't include the spacers or the cutter, but everything else goes with it. And so like I said, it's a real nice machine, a pretty beefy shaper with a 9 horsepower motor in it, big 1.25" spindle. Be sufficient for race panels or almost any kind of profiling that you want to do with it. So thanks for looking, and hope you enjoyed it.